Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 4 vs 4 on Mont Ormel, and in this one I'm going to be playing with the 17th SS-Panzergrenadier. Now if you'd like to watch this live and you are a patron, then feel free to go over to Patreon and check out the VOD. But here I have for you today the replay commentary, and if you'd like to get involved in the future or watch the stream live, then I do stream Steel Division live every Thursday at 10 PM from now on. If that day changes, I will let you guys know, but at this current moment in time, that's the way I'm going to do it. Every Thursday, 10 PM GMT, join me then for live Steel Division. You can get in on the games if you're quick enough, and patrons will have priority for invitations. So there you go. Let's get on with this game though. Today I'm going to be playing with Schmitty, Betz and Genjeft, who are playing the Panzerlehr, 3rd Fallschirmjäger and 352nd Infantry. And on the opposing side we have Gonzo with the 2nd Armoured, Barbapapa with the 15th Infantry, Magic Man with the 6th Airborne and Matthew with the 1st Panzerner. So for those of you who know of Gonzo, you will have seen him in the Murderé match quite a little while back now. Pushing me to the limit really before unfortunately he disconnected. He also played on a game with me on my team previously as well. So he's certainly becoming a name on my videos because he's definitely very good, and this time around he's on the opposite side, and he's going to be playing the 2nd Armoured French, which is a very aggressive division. So we'll see how he gets on with that. So let's have a look at some of my unit composition. Pretty standard stuff. Somebody requested the 17th SS the other day, and obviously since somebody requested it on stream, I'm doing it today. But this is just going to be some spear troop here. We've got some spear troop over here as well. A couple squads, actually starting with 4 squads of spear troop. Then I've got the MGs as well. I've got a couple of AT guns. I've got a Panzerschreck team, and I've got 2 units of Panzergrenadiers with the command infantry to head to the forest. Now in hindsight I probably should have used Stosstroop and tried to micro around the smoke a little bit, but I just felt that like Panzergrens would hold a lot better, and if I was sort of holding at this area here across this road, then they can actually use their MGs quite effectively, and that's where it would come in handy. It really depends on how my opponent plays against me and what tactics they sort of use, because if they smoke towards me and get close to my Panzergrenadiers, then the Panzergrenadiers are going to have a hard time. However, if they are engaging me from outside the 100-meter range, then the MGs from the Panzergrenadiers will do a lot of damage. So that's kind of what I was looking for there, and was hoping that I wouldn't have to micro that too much, but definitely a mistake to think that going into this game. So let's just speed it up. I'll select all my troops, I'll show you exactly where they're going, and then I will point out the locations and why they're going there. So on this right side we have a recon squad with an MG. This MG has really good line of sight if you put it up here onto like this tree line here, and basically this road on the right side. Really helpful. Then I have an MG going to this building, again has a really good line of sight across to the other side, and I'm also going to have a Panzerschreck squad sitting up here, 250-meter range, just enough for the edge of this hill here. So if anything comes up, it's going to get shot in the face. We've also got another recon squad going to the forest, accompanied by an AT gun. I've got a Stosstroop squad moving into this compound, so that if any infantry run across the open, as soon as they get close, they just get mowed down by the Stosstroop. Spear troop moving up with return fire on into this tree line, hopefully to reveal whatever's on the other side. And an MG42 again to just prevent any infantry from getting close in the first place. Also got an AT gun for the main road. We've got Panzergrenadiers here, Panzergrenadier and the Panzerschreck to join us with a spear troop squad. This Panzergrenadier is going to get hammered pretty early on. I can see that there is a 3-star infantry squad there and a 3-star half-track, and after hovering over the units I find out that I'm up against Gonzo, which is exactly what some of you guys wanted to see. So here we will see a 50 cal half-track with 3-star veterancy absolutely annihilate my Pak 38, which is going to miss its first shot. 50 cals are horrific to deal with. My Panzerschreck goes along and takes out a WC-52, which actually pins down the New Ibis squad that is behind it. On this right side, my MG42 are doing its job, trying to pin down infantry where it can. And then on this right side, we have Schmitty making a little bit of a salient there. So things not going too bad at the moment. We're currently holding the 50-50, but my Panzergrenadiers have bumped into Pioneers, and at that range, Pioneers just don't kill the Pioneers quick enough. And that Pioneer squad is going to start pinning down my Panzergrens and start running them down as I retreat the rest of my troops, because I can't do anything against Flamers really, and therefore I'm going to have to completely back off for now. On my left flank I do have Betts, who is holding down the fort against Barber Papa and his 15th Infantry Scots, and on the far left Genjeft is trying to push into the Magic Man. Can see plenty of his AT guns at the moment, so got to be a bit careful with his Panzerjägers. I've rolled up a Nebelwerfer that's going to be firing into the Pioneers to try and save the day there. And as soon as I see the units being pinned down, I'm going to charge back in the opposite direction with the Panzergrenadier, hoping that his mortar doesn't actually hit me. Pioneers get actually surrendered there, which is fantastic, and I get to carry on. Also, we saw Betts' Pack 41 take out the Churchill 5 at close range, so really good job there by Betts to take that out. Mortars also coming down on my right side. Obviously some recon here can spot my Pack 38, and yeah, I'm going to have to move that eventually. But basically I'm trying to hold the fort down here as Betts comes up with some Fallschirmjägers to help out. Pioneers actually being pinned down there, which is good, and Panzerschreck goes ahead and tries to get the shot onto the WC-52, actually misses, which isn't very often a thing for the Panzerschrecks, especially with like the 1-star veteran seeing the 9 accuracy, but it can happen, and it did this time round. I brought up another Pack 38. This unfortunately gets wrecked by the M10 before it can really do too much. I was hoping to not have it in line of sight, but as you can see it was just about there, and the last shot happened before it got out of line of sight. Going to see some speed troop. They're going to open up onto the voltages as they're dropped out. M5 half track. Going to be making those surrender very quickly. No command nearby. Got a Opel Blitz munition coming up to help with the Nebelwerfer. My right flank's relatively secure, but this left flank is being pressured very much so, because technically I'm facing off against half of Matthew's forces and Gonzo's forces. These forces on the right side are kind of holding Matthew back, but on the left side, with Gonzo's full might, he is pushing very hard onto me. Thankfully, I have an MG42 here. That's going to pin down the voltages quite nicely. I'm also managing to hit the WC-52, which doesn't have any armor, so should be able to take care of that. Got a mortar coming in from the left side from Betts to help us out with the Nueva. So maybe I can pin down these rifles and make them surrender, and that's exactly what happens, as their mortar actually does that for me. Betts' Fallschirmjäger takes out one of the half tracks and is going to get line of sight onto the Pioneers and take them out as well. I'm going to lose a Panzergrenadier though to the M8 Scots that are moving up, and unfortunately these M8s are really in a good position at the moment because I don't have any AT that really covers the centre anymore. My AT got taken out on this road early on, AT gun got taken out in the mid, and he knows it, so that's why Gonzo is pushing so damn hard at the moment. Panzerschreck's kind of saving my ass near the road, but still, these M8s could do a lot of damage. I've started to move over this Pack 38. That's got line of sight to where that half track was coming from, so I managed to take that out. But I am losing ground here, although we are making ground on the right side. Schmitty's kind of trying to break through there with a half track by the looks of things, but yeah, I'm losing quite a lot of ground in the centre because both of my half tracks went down. So WC-52 coming up to help out with some 50 cal fire support. Voltages were taken out there. We take out the WC-52. Voltage is going to be forced to fall back. I probably should have tried to get my Panzerschreck into range, because it probably would have just been in range on the edge of this tree line to take out one of the M8s. The only issue with that is, as soon as it revealed itself, the M3 and the M8 would have fired back and taken it out. Like, in hindsight, the trade there, the Panzerschreck for the M8 squad, would have been worth it, but I feel like the M8 squad and the risk of the Panzerfaust at this point is all that's stopping these M8s and the M3A3s from rushing down this road. Now at the moment, multiple mortar shots coming in, which is going to pin down a lot of Betts' Fallschirmjägers that have joined me in the forest here. You saw my Panzerfaust get hit directly by a mortar shell, which blew up the squad pretty simply. Trying to get some Stosstroop in here to clear out that compound. You can see the Nebelwerfer doing that and trying to help out. So I'm just trying to do the same thing here as I would have done here, and I managed to make that voltage surrender. Yeah, I want the Stosstroop to like occupy one of these buildings once they stop burning, so that I can just shoot anything as it comes close. Now with the threat of all of the Panzerfausts out the way, you can see Gonzo has started to go for that push with one of the M8 Scots. I've got a Stug on the way, and I'm going to be trying to catch up the best I can. Betts actually had an LG40 on the way as well, and that's going to be smacking the M8 right in the face and taking it out, which is really good. First shot gets the kill, which is perfect. If it hadn't, I feel like the Scot would have taken it out, but then again my Stug 3 would have ended up catching up. Now with all of the extra flamers coming in, we can see the Pioneers taking out my infantry in the forest, and basically it's down to Betts now on that right side. My Stug takes a shot from the M10, but M10 misses. And now we are going to be seeing Schmitty's Pak 38 on the right side trying to have a go at the M10, but again misses the mark. MG42 goes down as they begin to push up with the Cromwell 7 on my right flank. And over on this right side, Schmitty is having his own troubles with Matthew continuing to push. He's bringing up 2 Pumas to try and get rid of some of these tanks, but might not work out too well if he's not too careful. Either way, Nebelwerfer firing away once again onto the enemy infantry in the forest, just to sort of slow down that advance there, allow me to come up with my own reinforcements and sort it out. Got to be a little bit careful with this M3A3 Scot, or Stuart and Scott, because I don't want them to just come around the corner there and pop my Stug, which could definitely happen. So you can see I sort of reversed the Stug up the hill there to make sure it didn't happen. And I've just smoked off my Stosstroop here to keep them alive in that building, which will definitely provide a bit of threat in the centre, because I don't want this lead to get any larger. Looks like Gonzo made a little bit of a micro mistake here, moved forwards his Stuart. My Stug was in a perfect position to take it out and gets the shot there. Now I know that I can pretty much take out the M8 very easily, so I'm going to be moving up with the Stug to maybe take out the M10 and the M8. The reason I wouldn't go for the M10 in the first place was because I wasn't sure if the Stuart would come round and kill it. Now Stosstroop here, they're doing a decent job getting the bailout onto one of the M5 half tracks there. They're going to be going for another Panzerfaust shot, this time into the same half track. Probably should have had it go for the M5 half track here. But all the while I'm trying to deal with this Stug as well. I'm going to have this Stug now move round to the right side to cut off this advance, because they've managed to pin down my Pak 38. They've killed off Schmitty's, so there's a huge gap here, and Gonzo is exploiting that with his half track and infantry combination. Now in the forest I did manage to make back a little bit of ground, took out one of the enemy infantry squads that I came across, and these Nueve are going down very quickly thanks to Betts' Panzer L6. I've got the Nebelwerfer to fire a salvo into the left side of this forest, but plenty of units are breaking through and it's not looking good at the moment. Gonzo putting on a lot of pressure, making a lot of ground. But what we have to remember at this point is the 2nd Armoured French plays around Phase A very, very well, especially if they get ahead. And that can continue into Phase B quite easily, but as soon as you get later into the game, like Phase C, then the 2nd Armoured will start to have trouble, because they can't necessarily bring in anything big enough to do the job. And we have the Pak 40 here, that's going to pick off the M5 half track as it comes up the road here. I didn't really want to have to unload that early, but in the end just decided to put it in this tree line where the LG40 was, and bring up a 2nd Pak 40 to head to the right side, and that should help me deal with the M10s if I'm lucky. LG40 gonna get pinned down. That's being hammered by the M5A1 half-track here from Gonzo. But now I've decided to join up my Panzergrenadiers with a couple of Stosstroop, and they're going to be moving forwards and taking on the infantry from now on. The French have a limited amount of pioneers, and I know that. So deciding to bring in my Stosstroop a bit later on actually turned out to be a half decent idea. Having them earlier on would have been okay, but I feel like I would have just lost them straight away, as opposed to now them being able to shoot down or kill the rifles and any other infantry like voltigeurs I come across quite easily. So Panzergrenadier here are under fire. They're firing back with their Kar 98s and having a go at them with the Stug 3. Panzer L6 is going to get hit and tracks broken by the M10. So that's not having a fun time. I'm actually going to put another Nebelwerfer salvo towards this M10 and the infantry in that tree line just to pin it down. I do lose the command squad there and the recon squad shortly after. I'm definitely coming under a lot of pressure, but I've now got the Pak 40 in position. I've got the Stug 3 into position. My Stosstroop are being hit by these sappers, which isn't good, and I probably should be smoking them off at this point. But I was also focused on this left side where you can see I'm now facing sappers who do have the grenades, the 20 HE power grenades in the form of a satchel charge. So yeah, these Stosstroop, I could have very easily smoked them off, but that was just my mistake there. Pioneers though, getting pinned down, not too much I can do about that until the Stug comes in and saves the day. Stosstroop take out another half-track on the main road, and we see the Panzerschreck pick off a half-track to the right side here. So starting to clean up these half-tracks and maybe making some ground back. Now I see this Spey squad move up, and that's taken hold in this tree line, so going to be bringing up some infantry to take those out. Pioneers, another squad of Pioneers comes up, has a go at my Stosstroop. Stosstroop win out this time round. He also managed to take out the command squad there, which does leave some of their infantry quite open. Further to that, we also can see their mortar there, so I would like to get up close and personal with the mortar, but it's already pinned down my forces. Pak 40 on the hill takes out the half-track in the mid, and these Pioneers are able to start charging forwards once again. Nebelwerfer taking aim towards the M10 here, and the reason I'm doing that is to hopefully get the Stug 4 to have a favourable engagement against the M10 and take it out, because if I can take out the M10s, I'm going to be doing very well. I think the M10 on the right side as well, that one was retreating to the right side, so I knew that there was only one to deal with at the moment, and that's currently falling back. So eventually there, the Stug 4 gets the kill. It does only have, well, it has 6 accuracy, but it doesn't have any veterancy. Fortunately, I was still able to get the kill there. But now with that tank gone, my Stug 4 takes the position of their M10s. So I now have the pressure on this front to push back. You can see Gonzo actually focused a lot on these mortars, and at the moment that's actually punishing him quite a bit. He's got 4 81mm mortars, and that means he's got a lot less units on the ground than I do, because I haven't really focused on mortars at all. I do obviously have the Nebelwerfer and the Opel Blitz munition, but I feel like my Nebelwerfer strikes have actually been pretty damn decent this game so far. So jumping back to my perspective, Betz is continuing this engagement with his Luftwaffe Jäger. I've got a couple of Panzergrenadiers that have fallen back with the Panzergrenadier after they got mortared. We take out the sappers there. That's going to allow me to move forwards my Stosstroop. Pak 40 gets taken out by the enemy mortars. We're going to be starting to move up now though with 2 Stug 4s. Because he was focusing so much on mortars, choosing to use Stug 4s instead was actually a really good choice, because they have the 1,200 meter range that is pretty damn decent. And eventually I'm going to find the Spey here as I bring in a Pioneer squad, and we're going to hammer those. The 3 Stugs on this front line, ready and waiting to push up. Focusing on armor is basically the way in which you counter a lot of mortar use. Mortars can of course pin down tanks quite often, but in general it's a lot harder to pin down a tank with a mortar than it is infantry or anything else. And we can see the MG42 engaging the sappers here. My Panzergrenadiers are going to be able to open up with their MGs and actually get the pin onto the sappers. But now we have the Stug 4 actually in direct line of sight of one of the mortars, so going to be firing at that. Let's try and take it out. Now with their voltages coming along, they're actually going to end up making my Panzergrenadier unit surrender there because of the help from the mortar. But with a massive stacked amount of fire support units there, my Nebelwerfer has a lovely time taking those out. Now another half-track is trying to push down the road. Gonzo going for another fast move there. Sappers have come up and found my Panzergrenadier, so I lost a unit on the left side. And the half-track is just going to avoid my Stug 4 completely, but I did have a 232 coming up to give that some command star there. So, yeah, that's going to do the job for me. So we've kind of taken back our ground here, and Schmitty is making a little bit of ground on the right side now that he's pushing back against Matthew here. But on the far right, things not going very well at all, as Schmitty has kind of collapsed here. His AT guns are gone, pretty much everything's gone, and yeah, that's very exploitable right now. By the way, still 50-50. Betts has made a lot of ground on the left side, and Genjev is still holding the 50-50. I do see that both my remaining units of infantry in the forest get taken out, and my Stug 4 is currently engaged with the M4A3 and the, well, two M4A3s with 76mm guns. Now I've brought up a second Nebelwerfer. That's going to be trying to take out another mortar, and I do exactly that. And then I have my 120mm mortar trying to take out their 81mm mortar. So going for the counter battery now, taking out three of Gonzo's mortars. Now he only has one left, and you can see the front line is being broken quite badly. Get the crossfire from the Stug 3, pop one of the M4A3 76mm, and that is good stuff. We're making a lot of ground here. Now this would probably be giving us a lead at this point if a Sherman 3 and a half-track hadn't already broken through on the right side for Matthew. Matthew pushing very, very hard at this point. One of my Pioneer squads does get surrendered on the left, which wasn't good. So we are kind of still being threatened in this area. But on the right side, in the open, we've made a lot of ground so far. And currently my Panzergrenadier is trying to run up to take advantage of that. But I don't really have anything I can move fast into that area to secure it. So the +1 still for the Allies at this point, 605 points in their favour due to Matthew controlling this huge amount of ground on the right side. I'm bringing in a Stug 3 there to help out, try and relieve some of the pressure. And I've now got my mortar focusing on this left side as well to help Betts' Fallschirmjäger as he continues to push forwards. He's also using his own 81mm mortars there. However, enemy counter battery looks like they hit the supply and took out one of his mortars. So Jeep going to get taken out there. Panzergrenadier's going to continue to roll on forwards. Stoss Troop accompanying my Stug 4 as I move up, and this Stug 3 sort of moving down the hill in lower cover. Going to eventually take out the Nueve as they run away. And now I probably should be replacing my recon, because that's what I'm completely lacking at this point. But it looks like so was Gonzo, as he comes around the corner with one of his M4A3s, tries to pop my Stug 4 in the face, but the Stoss Troop gets the Panzerfaust off quicker, and job done. So that's both of the M4A3s down, 76mm. We've broken a lot of the infantry on the left side, which is good, thanks to the artillery, and thus we are going to continue forwards. So at this point, Panzergrenadier is going to be trying to use their grenades to take out the M5 half-track. And unfortunately going to be surrendered. So I've got, obviously, this more infantry coming up on this left side. That's going to be a couple squads of Pioneers, a couple squads of Stosstroop. I should have had one of the units of Stosstroop or a couple units of Stosstroop come up this side as well towards the Stug 3 and the Stug 4, because breaking through this road and securing some Stosstroop into this area would have been really hard for them to get rid of. However, these Stosstroop are currently catching up to and taking out the 81mm mortar there. That's actually going to capture us the GMC, and those Assault Pioneers are also going down. So a lot of ground being made on this side. The second armoured push is slowly falling apart. So Stug 4 has come in. That's going to be continuously shooting the reinforcements that are coming down to this right side. We also see a King Tiger coming up from Schmitty. Currently his efforts to move up this hill so far have amounted to nothing, but I managed to take out the Sherman there, which is good, but I'm now being attacked by a 6-pounder at very close range. Now I could have tried to back away from this engagement, but best bet at this point is just to carry on and hope I can pin it down before it can pin me down and force me to fall back, because if it manages to make me force back, the Stug 4 will probably die. So going for the shots there, trying to get the pin, not going to happen. 6-pounder is going to fire back and force me to fall back, and therefore has like unlimited shots pretty much to try and get the kill until I go out of line of sight. So just about going to get away with it this time round. More infantry coming in from Betts up the centre though, and that's going to be helping to push with my Stosstroop as we carry on forwards. 57mm AT gun comes into the tree line, tries to sneak up on my Stug 4, but the 232 too quick there and going to take out the enemy very quickly. Stosstroop going to be hitting the Assault Pioneers in the face. Assault Pioneers of course going to unleash their grenade though, and my Stosstroop are going to be killed off. Now Ju-87 comes in from myself, take out another one of their tanks. Gonzo not having a fun time anymore putting the pressure on, as I am starting to push back quite heavily. On this right side we have the Ju-87 coming in with the 15 HE power bomb. Genjeff's telling Schmitty to stop, since the King Tiger is sort of getting very close to enemy infantry. We've got the Dragoni here, and if they jump forwards and fire a Pier at the King Tiger, that would be absolutely tragic. A bunch of Osttroopen arriving from Genjeff, and we have the Flampanzer moving up as well. Looks like those Dragoni actually ran out of Piers before they killed the tanks, so yeah, going to be recovering this right side, but still 50-50 and 832 points in favour of the Allies currently. So we've got to get our push on, as we really need to make some ground and gain back the conquest points, or we're going to lose. 14 minutes left on the clock. Can we make 800 points? Who knows? Well, those of you who watch the stream would know, but there we go. My speed troop coming up. Going to try and get them to see the reinforcements, but as I come up onto the top there, I probably should have put them on return fire so they don't reveal themselves to the M5A1 half track and this tank that's sitting on top of the hill, which was actually a Crusader AA Mark 1. Now I've got another Ju-87 coming in. That's going to be going for the shot onto the M3A3 and the M5A1 half track. Just going to try and take those out. Of course there is the AA half track there now though, which is a bit of an issue. I still got my mortar here. We've got the Nebelwerfers being moved about as well. Got the Nebelwerfer moved up to this road. That's now going to be firing towards the Tripolston to sort of relieve some of the pressure and allow me to use my Ju-87 a bit better. We get the bailout onto the M3A3 though, and that's going to be taken out by the Stug 4 at long distance. We've also got this Stug 4 now got line of sight onto the rifles, and myself and Betts fighting towards Baba Papa here is doing a rather good job. And my Nebelwerfer landing some shots towards the M5A1 there, and the enemy infantry that was coming down the hill. I knew that Gonzo had a nice presence of forces here, so went for that shot where I could, and I've now got the GMC that I captured and the Opel Blitz munition coming in to resupply the Nebelwerfer there. My Spear Troop going to go down to these voltages, unfortunately, as they get pinned. And like I said before, having just a couple of Stoss Troop on this side probably would have been very good for securing that ground. But now what I'd like to see is Gengift and Schmitty sort of push back on this right side, break the back of Matthew, and give us back the lead. Because we're currently just about ticking a +1. The 51% territory is so damn close at this point. It keeps ticking backwards and forwards. And we are now starting to count up, however, as we do make back a little bit ground on that right side. Also take out the 57mm AT gun with both of my Stugs, which is good. My Nebelwerfer is currently being pinned down, so I'm going to have to pull that back eventually. Here we can see the Crusader AA Mark 1 coming down the hill to try and take care of some of the infantry and give support to the voltages and so on. Pioneer going to get smacked in the face by that Crusader AA. They are very close. I'm not sure if they're quite in surrender distance. I think this 232 is literally just in range to stop that surrendering, yeah. But over here, with the Spear Troop dying, I'm able to actually get some Panzergrenadiers up towards this town. Now Ju-87G on the right side was shot down. I brought that in to take out the enemy Firefly here, but Matthew had other ideas when he brought in his Hurricane and shot it down. But we've got the ME-109 and the Focke-Wulf on target, and that's gonna do the job there. So I've got my own infantry coming up. That's just to support the left flank of this attack. My Pioneers go down on the left side, but we've got some close range fire support now from the Stug and the 232. So starting to do a lot of damage. And on this right side, I believe my Stug 3 ended up getting taken out at some point by a tank from the right side. But we've still got a lot of pressure here. And anything that tries to come down the hill will be shot at and killed by my Stug 4s at this point. GMC moving up to resupply the 20mm ammunition and the Stug's HE. But we do have the DB-73 there with its bombs coming in, and that's going to force my Stug 4 to fall back. Now my 232 on this side, that goes a little bit too far forwards, gets hit by the M10 and does die out. On this right side, big air engagement occurring as there are 2 Spitfires in the sky. But I'm going to take this distraction in order to bring in a Ju-87 to have a go at this Firefly on the hill. It's time to take it out, and boom, one shot, get the Firefly. Really good. Relieves a lot of pressure for Gengift and Schmitty as they begin to move forwards. And look how many planes there are flying about. Big old dogfight. ME-109 comes in, takes out one of the Spitfires. Gengift has his Focke-Wulf being shot down, but Bet's there just picking up tons of kills with all of his fighters. Spitfires dead all over the place. Lovely stuff. Now I tried to bring the Ju-87 across and get the kill onto the Cromwell 7, but unfortunately don't make it happen. My 232 goes down on this side. M20 Command, however, died as well to Bet's Fallschirmjägers, so both of my Stug 4s left once again without any supply. And he's starting to break back over the ridge. But 54% territory lead at the moment, and as you can see, it's currently tied. Nobody is going to win at the end of this game. It would normally say victory in so many minutes and seconds, but at this moment you can see that it's not the case, and Schmitty is going to end up surrendering, as I believe he kind of ran out of steam on this left flank. However, he did have the Königstiger, the Feldpanzer and the Flammpanzer going. Actually, I think it might have been actually a disconnect. I think he disconnected from the game. Yeah, I was having a little bit of trouble with his internet, because there would have been no reason to surrender at this point with a Panzer IV, King Tiger, Flammpanzer and Tiger East in play. But either way, Mustang going to be coming in there, not going to shoot down the Ju-87s. We've just had a nice bombing run on this right side. Actually going to come back for another run onto the Ju-87, but now the ME-109 on its tail from Betts, and he's going to get the kill. Betts picking up another one there, which is absolutely lovely. Nebelwerfer going to be forced to fall back again after multiple shots coming in from the enemy artillery. We see the Pak 40 take out the half-track on the right side, and my Nebelwerfer is actually going to force both of these M10s to fall back, which is exactly what I was looking for. Gonzo now going to be relying on the M4A3s with the 105mm guns to try and take out any extra fire support. But my Stug 4s are still alive. Very, very tanky beasts these are, and going to be able to survive for now. I'm able to move this one back up and get it back into position for when they come back down with the tanks. So we're still sitting at the +1. We're going to need a +2 to win at this point, or even a +3, because there's only 7 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. Stug 4 is going to be opening up and engaging the M10. Not going to get the kill, but forces it to fall back. My Nebelwerfer somehow still alive at this point. And I'm currently reloading this one on the right side. Should have also been reloading the mortar and using that, but didn't really have too many targets. Now IG-18 is going to be opening up onto the voltages there alongside my MG. As I am starting to move forwards, my Panzergrenadier MG here, get them into a position to help out. But P-38 Lightning coming in with the two 25 HE power bombs. Going to blow the crap out of that Pak 40 and blow up my supply vehicle there as well. We also see the IG go down to an enemy mortar. Our mortar trying to take care of that infantry as I bring in a couple of Stosstroop finally on this right side, accompanied by a couple units of Panzergrenadiers. I do have my Focke-Wulfs hanging about, and they were going to go for the kill onto the P-38, but end up getting hit quite hard by the enemy AA. Stug 4 though takes out that AA. Crusader AA Mark 1 going to be shot and taken out. DB-73 coming in again though with the 4 15 HE power bombs and bombing out this Stug as he tries to approach me again with the M10. So going for another push here. Stun the tank, push forwards with all you got, and hope it's enough. Betts just got on the back of the DB-73 there with the 2-star MU-109. But still, looks as though there's some more AA to deal with. So Panzergrenadiers moving up on this left side now. One of them gets into cover. Got the Ju-87 coming in, that's going to bomb out the Vickers there. I'm also going to bomb out the Zwiadowski Recon that is here. And you can see that the AI has taken over and started to push through very heavily. Goodbye to the Cromwell. Betts and Genjev still pushing forwards. And now we've hit the +2, which is going to give us a minor victory in 4 minutes and 50 seconds. So, things turning on their head now. 540 points currently, still not over the 830, so if they made a small comeback, they could definitely do a decent job. But Stug 4 here going to be engaging one of the M10s. Gets the kill. Another M10 going to return the favour though. And that was a trade 1-for-1. Now in this case, and in this scenario, that's not actually too bad, trading 1-for-1. Because it actually slows down Gonzo's pushback quite significantly, especially considering I already have another Stug 3 or 2 coming up. Now Nebelwerfer hits this compound, going to allow my Stosstroop to move up and try and take out these Spy. Going to pin them down. They are in range, so they're going to make them surrender as well, which is good stuff indeed. M10's going to come round the corner of this tree line here. Going to end up breaking into line of sight of this Stug 4. And at that range, Stug 4 is pretty damn accurate. We're also going to be seeing an M20 come down this road. Stosstroop in the perfect position to take that out. So they're going to be picking up that kill. And there's an M4A3 here. I can quite simply rush that with the Stug 4. So I'm going to try and do that. However, I need to be a little bit careful of the Churchill 7 getting a crossfire. So that's kind of what I'm aiming at now. Now at max range, the Churchill 7 is actually going to struggle to penetrate the Stug 4. So that engagement is always in my favour. However, I'm never going to penetrate the Churchill 7 either. So he's pretty much safe there to just continue driving towards me. But yeah, 2 more Stugs here. bringing in all the Stugs to continue the engagement against the M10s, because the M10s really do suffer against the Stug 4s, and it's always been a really nice counter, honestly. The benefit of the M10, obviously, it has the rotating turret, and it's not like a self-propelled gun. But yeah, Stug 4s and the frontal engagement will pretty much always win against an M10. Like 36 going to be dropped off there by the AI, just to help on the left side. Stoss Troop takes out another vehicle on the main road, and this is why I was saying like a Stoss Troop in this area would have been a lot better at this point in the game. Because imagining having two Stoss Troop here that just kept shooting all of the reinforcements as they came down the road, it would have been really irritating. Now Panzerschreck does manage to weapon damage the M4A3. There's currently 2 minutes left on the clock, and we are just about creeping over the victory score, which is good. P-38 Lightning comes in with the bombs. Is going to pin down the Stug 3. We see a Stug 3 on the road from Betz take out the M8 that was there. Ju-87 going to be shot down. Coming in with the Ju-87 here to try and get some shots onto the Churchill. If I can take out that Churchill, I can engage the M10 easily with the Stugs. Lovely stuff. Now, Stoss Troop going to be revealed by the M8 Spy. So that's no longer going to be a problem for Gonzo and Matthew. He's going to pin that down and make them surrender as he rushes forwards. Because they're trying to make back a little bit of ground just to break this +2 that we have going. Because if he can, then it will most likely end in a draw at this point. But if it continues counting towards the end of the game, then it's going to be a different story entirely. But this Panzerschreck does break the tracks of that M8 Spy. Does make it fall back. Not going to get the kill, however. So that M8 Spy going to be remaining there. 44 seconds left on the clock. Can I pick up any more kills with the Stug 4? That's just what I was looking for at this point. Firing constantly at the M4A3 to try and take that out. And finally, we get it.
We surrender.
So now I have this Stug 3. It's going to have to rotate to get a shot onto the M8 Spy. The M8 Spy, they're going to quickly drive-by kill the Panzerschreck squad. My Pak-40 is of course dead here from the previous bombing strike. So as the M8 Spy moves down the road, I'm actually reversing the Stug 4 to get it in line of sight to shoot it in the back as it comes past. And that's exactly what I do. And with that occurring, that is the end of the game. We are going to secure ourselves a minor victory in the full 40 minutes. What an absolutely epic game that was. If we jump over to the team scores, at the end of that, 4,352 kills to 2,610 losses. Betz doing very well as well with the 4,132 kills to 2,055 losses. Gonzo, however, putting on a lot of pressure early on, but breaking back with the help of my allies and my division in order to cause him plenty of losses. In the late game, as the French, if you get behind like he did in Phase B, then you are going to have a hard time for the rest of the game, and that's exactly what happened. Genjeff supporting that right side with Schmitty and providing all of those Osttroopen was exactly what we needed to stop the spawn from being captured, and Schmitty, he did well until he got broken on the right side and caused that huge salient that Matthew managed to exploit very well in order to almost secure the victory for his team. But not today. Gonzo is defeated. Thank God. Oh man, this was actually really kind of stressful game, but I never felt at any point in the game I was losing in particular, because I was trading quite efficiently. And eventually that will always allow you to break through the French, because in Phase A they have way more income than you do, and reinforcement points to use. But there we go. I do have another awesome gameplay to come, which will be on the channel tomorrow. So look forward to that. But in the meantime, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.